One day I was playing Roblox. A few minutes later I met this guy in Adopt Me. We became friends. Then a little later we started dating. I gave him my number and we started texting. He wanted to FaceTime but I had to go to my grandma's house, so I told him I would FaceTime later. Either way I was a little nervous to FaceTime. Okay, anyway I got to my grandma's house and I decided to bring my laptop because I still wanted to play Adopt Me with my boyfriend. I noticed that my grandma was on her phone the whole time. She literally never goes on her phone. Like when I went to say hi to her, she literally slapped me and told me to go away. Like, bitch, chill out. What did I do? Anyway, I went to join Adopt Me and I saw that my boyfriend was online. I joined and gave him a free giraffe. A second later my grandma jumps 5 feet in the air and she screamed yippee yappy wappy hoo ha hey and she fell on her back. That was the moment I realized I was dating my own grandma. She got rushed to the hospital. A day later my mom told me she died. We went to her funeral. It was going normal until all of a sudden I hear the Adopt Me music coming from her funeral casket.
One day I was on call to my best friend. We were just chatting like normal best friends do. Anyway, we were playing Roblox and all of a sudden her light turned off. She started screaming, so I started laughing because her scream sounded like a dead roach. Then she stopped screaming. I didn't even notice because I was about to piss myself. The light turned back on and she wasn't in the room. I stopped pissing myself and I heard her saying help me. I didn't know what was happening, so I ignored her as she always plays pranks on me. Out of nowhere she came running into the room doing this wired laugh and saying, "We don't like Lily." Then the light turned off and back on. She was just sitting there saying, "Lily, what game do you want to play?" like nothing happened.
Here's a story time that happened in 2nd grade. So my teacher never allowed fidget spinners, and my friend always brought one to school because that was the only thing that helped us focus. But every time she saw it, she would take it, and she would never return it even though she said she was. So me and my friend, I'm gonna call her Jalen, and my other friend, I'm gonna name her Caitlin. So me, Jalen, and Caitlin all had this plan to sneak into school and take our fidget spinners. So at recess we had this plan spot behind the tree and we would all talk about it. This girl even didn't eat her lunch because her teacher took away her fidget spinner. Anyway, we all had this plan to sneak into school and break the windows, go in class and steal all our fidget spinners and give them back to the owners. But every time we talk about it, we'd get caught by this one kid named Nathan, and he would all go tell the teacher. But the teacher didn't care, obviously, because she knew we weren't going to do it. Like for part 2. Okay, part 2 of the fidget spinners. Okay, so as you know, Nathan was going to tell on us, and the teacher obviously didn't believe us because we were little kids and he knew we wouldn't do that. So we all had a plan that the next day we would all meet up at the playground in the school at 6 p.m. So that day, no one showed up. I didn't even show up. And the next day at school, we all got mad at each other for not showing up when we all said we showed up, but you guys didn't. And I didn't show up. My friend didn't show up. None of us showed up. But we just lied about showing up. So we just gave up and we just never did it again because we knew we would never get our fidget spinners. Tell me if you want more.
Okay, so one time in class, our teacher told us that we were gonna have a new student. Me and my best friend at the time looked at each other and whispered, "What if he is cute?" And while he was walking in, me and my best friend's mouths dropped. He was stunning. My teacher told him to sit next to my best friend, and so he did, and I looked at her and texted her to make a move. He kept staring at me and my best friend got mad. She asked him for his number, and he said no. I felt bad for her 'cause after school he texted me and asked to hang out. I said yes, but not to tell my best friend. Like for a part 2. Hi guys. I'm really sorry for not posting last night. I had dance anyway. Here's part 2. So after he texted me, I told him not to tell my best friend. I snuck out later that day and walked to his house. I knocked on his door and my best friend answered the door. She asked what I was doing and I told her everything. She asked me why I was lying and then the boy showed up in his driveway. I was really confused, but it turns out she snuck into his house to murder him. She is still in jail to this day.
So I was sitting in the cafeteria when these 2 girls walk up to me. They kept complimenting me. And I was so confused because these were the most popular girls in the school, so after they kept saying how pretty I finally asked them what they wanted. And one of the girls named Gabby told me I'm invited to her birthday party that was later that day. I was so happy, so I kindly accepted. Later that day the girl who invited me sent me her address. So when it was time, I got my mom to drop me off there. I walked up to the door and knocked a couple times and nobody answered, so I waited for almost an hour and realized no one lived there. I was so angry now. because it started raining outside and I had no way to get home, because my mom was on a dinner date, and I had told her to come get me at 8 p.m. and then it was 4 p.m. So I started to walk home, and the whole way I was crying. So the next day in the cafeteria, Gabby and 3 other girls walked up to me laughing, and Gabby asked me where I was, because I quote-unquote missed the party, and I told her that I was sent the wrong address, I think. Then she said, oops, lol, sorry, guess I sent you the wrong address, but look on the outside, at least we didn't have someone ugly to drive all the boys away at my party. So I rolled my eyes at her, because I wasn't trying to cause a problem, when I guess one of Gabby's friends handed her a milk carton, and she poured it on me, and that's when I bolted up, grabbed her by the hair, and started rocking her shit.
I haven't been to the toilet in 4 days and it was starting to worry me, so I went to the doctor's. I arrived and the doctor felt my stomach and said it was very hard. He wanted me to take a stool sample, which means you have to shit in the cup. I had coffee for breakfast, so I was pretty much ready to go. I grabbed the cup and went to the toilet and held it up to my ass and started pushing. I didn't realize how badly coffee affected me, and the next thing you know, a strong gust of diarrhea started blasting out of my ass and I felt like a rocket ready for takeoff. I grabbed onto the door for balance because I started levitating and the cup was already full, but I couldn't stop. I was holding onto the door for dear life and the shit was spitting out like a shotgun. I eventually stopped and looked at the glass cup of my shit and there were cracks all over the glass. I heard the desk lady shouting for everyone to get under the chair and to call the police. I got scared thinking what is going on outside, so I quickly cleaned myself up and rushed out of the bathroom to see everyone crying and hiding under the chairs because they thought there was an active shooter in the building. I said it was just my shit and everyone got up. Anyways, I have bowel cancer.
One day in elementary school, it was lunchtime. A bitch had to go potty. It was poo-poo time. So I remember I went to the restroom and I was exploding or whatever. And these girls walked in. We're gonna call them the Chipettes, okay? This is the best part. So the Chipettes start yelling in the bathroom. Is someone here? Can someone hear me? Like, I didn't say anything. I was literally taking a shit. Like, what? These girls, deadass, start laughing. They turn off the lights in the bathroom. They turn on all the sinks, whatever. And they start saying like Bloody Mary or some shit. And then the Chipettes run out of the bathroom and shut the door. So here I am getting casted on. I remember seeing a shadow. I fell on my ass and I start screaming and crying. It wasn't good. So someone called the janitor. Janitor walks in to check up on me.
When I was in year 7, me and my friend were in the toilets together on our phones, but then older years came in and we didn't want to walk out together because it would look like we were lesbians, lol. Anyway, I then desperately needed a shit, but there was no time for her to get out, so I said turn around and close your eyes, and I took a huge dump, but when it was coming out I farted so loudly, and then my friend was laughing so hard and it made me giggle, but when I laughed I farted consistently, and all the older years heard, and my friend was just crying with laughter whilst I wanted to crawl into.
So there's this bitch in my class and she used to be my best friend. Anyways, we were in geography class and this dusty, musty, crusty Siberian husky hoe had the audacity to fat shame this kid that I'm good friends with, and everyone laughed like it literally wasn't funny, but okay. Keep in mind this isn't the first time this bitch has done this. Like, she literally bullied my best friend and basically everyone. Anyways, I was so over this Oompa Loompa looking ass, so I got up and screamed in her face. Then she has the audacity to scream at me like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You are literally 5 foot and skinnier than Lil Huddy. I got so fucking pissed off that I just slapped her across the fucking face and told her to shut the fuck up. Everyone was just watching and my teacher couldn't give 2 fucks. I'm pretty sure he hated her too. She makes fake black eyes with purple glittery eyeshadow and says she got in a fight with 14 guys. Like, bitch, you aren't fooling anyone. She looks like Donald Trump's long lost twin with her orange fake ass tan. She wears the biggest fake eyelashes to school. Like, why the fuck, it literally looks like you are going to fly away with those butterflies. Holy shit. Her dress is up her ass and is flashing everyone most of the time. She wears like 12 bras to make her tits look big. Like, sis, you are flatter than a piece of paper, and she tries to get with everyone. No one wants to get with you.